Church of Saint Moisè. In the central section of the panel, we find the church map, with relating charts to the left. On the right section, there is essential information on the building and the design of the facade. Introduction. The church, founded in the 8th century and dedicated to Saint Maria Nascente, was rebuilt 60 years later and dedicated to Saint Victor. In the 10th century, Moisè EN had it built once again and named it after his titular saint. After the fire in 1105, it was reconstructed with 3 naves and took on its current single apse appearance in 1632. The facade was built between 1668 and 1683, thanks to a bequest on the behalf of the aristocrat Vincenzo Fini, and was designed by Alessandro Tremignon. The layout. The interior is composed of a single rectangular nave measuring approximately 20 by 35 meters, number 1. Below, the entrance with 3 doors. The nave ends with a presbytery, number 2, where we find the main altar, number 3, a monumental Baroque altarpiece in multicolored marble with numerous allegorical statues among large rocks, depicting Mount Sinai, upon which Moses received the 10 Commandments. The apse walls are covered by a wooden choir from the early 1600s, in which the seats are decorated with small tiles sculpted in relief and portraying the most important episodes in the life of Moses. The presbytery is flanked by 2 small apse chapels in the shape of a square. The left-hand chapel of the Blessed Sacrament, number 4, and the right-hand one dedicated to Saint Anthony, number 5. In the chapel to the left, on the left-hand side, we find Tintoretto's work, The Feet Washer, 1585, letter A. On the right wall of this chapel, we find the Last Supper attributed to Palma in Giovane. The side walls of the church bear tall pilasters right below the windows. Along the walls, we also find 2 altars per side, number 6. On the right wall, between the first and second altar, is the baptismal font and pulpit, number 7. Topped with a sculpture of Christ crucified by the artist Alvise Tagliapietra, 1732. The vaulted ceiling is decorated with an enormous painting by Niccolò Bambini, The Vision of Moses. Above the main door, we find an 18th century organ. Facade. The facade design is by Alessandro Tremignon, a follower of Longhena. The sculptural decoration is by the Flemish artist Heinrich Meyring, called Il Merengo. The Baroque facade celebrating the Fini family is exuberant with its sculptural decorations. The white facade in Istra stone is 32 meters tall. The gabled facade is vertically separated into 3 levels. The lower level bears 4 bases with fluted and annular Corinthian columns, including 3 entrance doors to the church. The side ones with triangular gable, the central one with rounded arch. Above the 3 doors, we find monumental tombs of the 3 Fini siblings, whose busts make up the pinnacle of each composition, enriched by freestanding statues of symbolic figures and animals. The central bust on a majestic obelisk is the one of the head of the family, Vincenzo Fini. At the middle of the second level, we find a large semicircular window with, to the sides, 4 statues portraying the cardinal virtues. The arch is crowned by 2 statues of the Sibyls, holding large books, and at the center of the arch we find the winged Fame Sibyl with her trumpet. The top row offers a triangular pediment underlined by a cornice in high relief. At the center we find the coat of arms of the Fini family, supported by 2 prancing lions. Above the tympanum of the upper section we see 5 large statues. On the sides are the patriarchs and biblical prophets, and at the center is Moses with the tablets of the commandments.